Welcome back, fight fans. Today we're breaking down who won Canelo Alvarez versus Gennadiy. Triple G Golovkin won. One of the most debated and controversial fights in boxing history. Using the 4 true scoring criteria of the unified rules of boxing, clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense, I've built a real scoring algorithm to analyze this fight round by round. And let me tell you, the results may shock you. If you love honest fight breakdowns without the hype and without the biased commentary, make sure to hit that subscribe button now and join us on the road to 100 subs and beyond, especially with the massive Canelo versus Crawford showdown right around the corner this weekend. Let's get started. Round 1. Clean punching. In this round, Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez 16 clean punches to 8. Clean punching, 10-8. Gennadiy Golovkin, great start for him. Effective aggression. A left hook by Canelo at 116 was borderline low. I'd give a soft warning. Gennadiy Golovkin was the more effective aggressor, pressing forward for the entire round as Canelo backed away, looked for openings, and was hit with a bunch of jabs. Effective aggression, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Ring generalship. Triple G pressed the pace and controlled the tone in this round, making Canelo back away for much of the time and clearly communicating that nothing Canelo was doing was affecting him. Ring generalship, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are all the moves done in the round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave high guard 10-9 Canelo Alvarez, ducking Canelo, bobbing and weaving Canelo, parrying Canelo, blocking Golovkin, footwork Canelo, and clinching Golovkin. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.393 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.629 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a blowout round 1 for Gennadiy Golovkin 10-9. And as we go through this fight, we'll take a look at how I'm scoring each round compared to the judges at ringside, who are in this case Adelaide Bird, Dave Moretti, and Don Trella, all of whom gave that round to Canelo Alvarez 10-9. Whew, a bad start for these guys. Round 2, clean punching. In this round, Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez again, this time 19-14. Clean punching, Golovkin 10-9. Effective aggression. Triple G was aggressive for about 2 minutes of the round and Canelo Alvarez for about 1 minute. Triple G was more effective in the sense that Canelo Alvarez was more wary and defensively elaborate to avoid punches, whereas Golovkin moved forward aggressively much more. Effective aggression, 10-9 Golovkin. Ring generalship. Gennadiy Golovkin controlled pressing action and a stalking tone for more of the round, while Canelo Alvarez had a few nice counters when he started getting the timing toward the end of the round. Ring generalship, 10-9 Golovkin. Let's talk defense, and these are all the defensive moves done in this round and when they happen to avoid punches only, and if we categorize them, I gave high guard 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, ducking to Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving to Canelo, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking 8 points to both fighters, footwork to Golovkin, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. Taking all the scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.943 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.629 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a comfortable win in round 2 for Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 20-18, Gennadiy Golovkin. All 3 judges at ringside again gave that round to Canelo Alvarez. I'm starting to scratch my head already on this one. 10-9, and they all have the fight 20-18, Canelo Alvarez. Round 3, clean punching. In this round, Gennadiy Golovkin badly outlands Canelo Alvarez 21 clean landed punches to 10. Clean punching, 10-8, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. Gennadiy Golovkin was the clearly more effective aggressor for almost the full round. He pushed forward, landed more than twice as many punches, and had enough pressure that Canelo already looked tired and was actively staying away for the last 30 seconds. Effective aggression, 10 points Gennadiy Golovkin, 8.5 Canelo Alvarez. Ring generalship. Gennadiy Golovkin controlled pace and tone easily in this round. He defended well, landed many clean hard punches to keep Canelo away for much of the round, and set a focused aggressive tone that made Canelo work to adapt and ultimately just stay away. Ring generalship, Golovkin 10, Alvarez 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round by either fighter and when they happen to avoid punches. If we categorize them, I gave high guard to Canelo, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving to Canelo, parrying to Golovkin, blocking to Golovkin, footwork to Canelo, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. If we take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.450 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.743 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a blowout round again in round 3 for Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 30-27, Gennadiy Golovkin. Judges Dave Moretti and Don Trella correctly gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin and have the fight 29-28, and Judge Adelaide Bird somehow gave that round to Canelo Alvarez again and has the fight 30-27, and I'll just say we're now taking donations to buy Adelaide Bird a better seat so she can see fights better. Round 4, clean punching. Again, a big disparity here. Gennadiy Golovkin lands 29 clean punches to Canelo Alvarez's 12 in this round. Clean punching, 10-8, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. Canelo is shaking his head, but he's clearly exhausted already halfway through the round from Triple G's aggressive pressure. Effective aggression, 10 points Golovkin, 8.5 Canelo Alvarez. Ring generalship. Gennadiy Golovkin controlled the aggressive tone and consistently pressed the action so much that Canelo was visibly running out of gas halfway through the round and only had enough energy to shake his head, suggesting that what we are seeing before our very eyes isn't actually happening, rather than doing very much about it. I'm starting to get confused on to how this was a close fight. Where is the round to give Canelo so far? Ring generalship, 10-8, Gennadiy Golovkin. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened, and if we categorize them, I gave high guard to Canelo, ducking to Canelo, bobbing and weaving to Canelo, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking 9 points to both fighters, footwork 9 points to both fighters, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, a blowout win again for Gennadiy Golovkin in round 4. The algorithm gave 8.305 points to Canelo and 9.657 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9, Triple G. And I now have the fight still a shutout, 40-36 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. All 3 judges at ringside, including Adelaide Bird, thank God, gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin as well. Adelaide Bird has the fight 39-37 Canelo, and judges Dave Moretti and Don Trella have the fight 38-38, a draw. Round 5, clean punching. Gennadiy Golovkin again outlands Canelo Alvarez 24-16 in this round. Clean punching, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. At 211, Canelo had a right hook to the coolie of a turning Triple G, and in Italian slang, that's the butt. Unintentional, but it would have been low if he were facing forward, though. Canelo Alvarez was amazingly evasive on the ropes, but Gennadiy Golovkin was pressing forward effectively for almost the entire round, making Canelo be reactive the whole time. He was conserving his energy and saving it for a few aggressive bursts. That 4-punch combo was impressive, though, and may have surprised Gennadiy Golovkin after Canelo Alvarez was being put in his place for so long before that. So when Canelo fights back, he does well, it's just not often enough. Effective aggression, 10-9, Triple G. Ring generalship. Canelo shaking his head around 1 minute after being hit a few times. When will people, even boxers, understand that you don't need to be hurt to lose a round? And if he's just bluffing, it's just making Gennadiy Golovkin more determined. Canelo Alvarez landed his punches in a few short bursts, being forced to stay on the ropes or back away for most of the round. Gennadiy Golovkin easily controlled action and tone. Ring generalship, Golovkin 10, Alvarez 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave high guard to Canelo, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving Canelo, parrying 8 points to both fighters, blocking 9 points to both fighters, footwork Canelo, and clinching Canelo. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, even with the defensive mastery of Canelo, it is 8.912 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.686 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a comfortable win in round 5 for Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 50-45 Gennadiy Golovkin. Judges Dave Moretti and Don Trella also gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin and have the fight 48-47 in Golovkin's favor. And Judge Adelaide Bird must be experiencing some sort of amnesia or mental blockage. She gave that round to Canelo Alvarez 10-9 and has the fight 49-46 Canelo Alvarez. Round 6, clean punching. Again, Gennadiy Golovkin, 24 clean landed punches to Canelo Alvarez's 13. Let's take a look at the cumulative totals now. Golovkin has landed 133 punches already in this fight, and Canelo Alvarez 73, a huge disparity. Clean punching, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez hit Triple G in the head with the back of his wrist at 241, so I'm not counting that. At 122, Canelo hit Golovkin in the head behind his back while headlocking him. You'll see the slide coming up in about a minute or so you know what I mean. Regardless of whether that move behind your back is legal, I couldn't see if it landed, so no credit for that one. A left hook to the head by Gennadiy Golovkin on the ref's break because he couldn't see the ref coming, so I won't count that one either as a foul. Gennadiy Golovkin was the dominant effective aggressor in the first 30 seconds and in the last 90 seconds, where Canelo fought in spurts and escaped the rest of the time with his remaining energy after such pressure from Gennadiy Golovkin. They were more even in the middle minute of the round. Effective aggression, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Ring generalship. Despite Canelo's few effective bursts, he was worn down substantially again in this round and unable to control action more than briefly and tone at all. And here's that picture of the behind-the-back punch. Ring generalship, Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Golovkin, ducking to Canelo, bobbing and weaving Canelo, parrying Canelo, blocking Golovkin, footwork Golovkin, and clinching Golovkin. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.826 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.743 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a very comfortable win in round 6 to Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 60-54 Gennadiy Golovkin. I have not found one round to give Canelo Alvarez yet in this fight. I heard that their second fight was closer than this. We'll see when I analyze that one. But again, Dave Moretti and Don Trella correctly gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin, and both have the fight 58-56 Golovkin at this point. And I may start referring to Cuckoo Bird, who gave this round somehow to Canelo Alvarez and has the fight 59-55, Canelo Alvarez. I hear she had some trouble with MMA judging after she left boxing. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of pattern going on. Round 7, clean punching. In this round, Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez 28 clean punches to 12. Clean punching, 10-8, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. At 6 seconds remaining, there was a right hook to the body by Canelo, which was on the back of the hip. That doesn't count. Canelo Alvarez is gassing out slightly earlier each round as they go along, a little before the midpoint now. He's trying hard to back away, reset, and give all the effort he has into clean punching, but Gennadiy Golovkin is merciless and couldn't give a crap that he's tired. The effective aggression is too overwhelming. Effective aggression, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Ring generalship. Triple G controlled action and tone for most of the round. Canelo Alvarez is having to wait for the spirit meter to regenerate every so often before he can punch. He's working too hard to offer up energetic offense to have any mental space left for strategizing action and tone control. Ring generalship, Golovkin 10, Canelo 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done to avoid punches and when they happened in this round. If we categorize them, I gave 9 points to both fighters for the high guard, ducking Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving Canelo Alvarez, parrying Gennadiy Golovkin, blocking Gennadiy Golovkin, footwork Canelo Alvarez, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. If we take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.364 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.686 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a blowout round in round 7 for Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 70-63 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. Again, I haven't found a round to give to Canelo yet. And welcome back to the stream of consciousness, Adelaide Bird. It seems like someone has gotten her coffee, and she's woken up and finally judged a round correctly. She and Dave Moretti both gave this round correctly to Gennadiy Golovkin, but now Don Trella has flipped. Has there been what Teddy Atlas might call a silent agreement, where now he gave a round to Canelo that he didn't deserve? Adelaide Bird has the fight 68-65 in favor of Canelo Alvarez. Dave Moretti has it 68-65. Gennadiy Golovkin, and Judge Don Trella now has it 67-66, Gennadiy Golovkin. Round 8, clean punching. In this round, Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez, surprise, surprise, this time 29-15, 1 punch short of doubling his punch output, so clean punching 10-9 instead of 10-8 just by 1 punch in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. At 17 seconds, Canelo had a low left hook to the hip. I'd give a soft warning. There was a minute between 225 and 125 when Triple G was more methodical and brought the pace down to something that Canelo could fight well within and manage better. But before that and after that, Canelo Alvarez was frantically tapping that escape key, trying to use all of his remaining energy to throw a good punch and then get the hell out of there due to Triple G's overwhelming aggressive pressure. Effective aggression, 10-9, Triple G. Ring generalship. Canelo Alvarez is trying to punch sharply, but is ending up moving quickly away due to fatigue. Gennadiy Golovkin controlled action and tone for the whole round, even when he decided to slow it down. That was his decision. Canelo only controlled action in the sense that he made Triple G work harder to catch him when Canelo was using his remaining energy to escape. Ring generalship, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Let's talk defense, and here are the defensive moves done in this round to avoid punches and when they happened. Categorizing them, I gave high guard to Canelo Alvarez, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving to Canelo Alvarez, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking to Gennadiy Golovkin, footwork to Canelo Alvarez, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. If we take the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.798 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.657 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a very comfortable win in round 8 to Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And what is that shouting I hear? It's the concession vendors. They're overwhelmed with customers and want Adelaide Bird to help wrap some tacos for them because they see that she clearly isn't doing anything valuable here. She gave that round to Canelo Alvarez, 10-9, and has it 78-74. Judges Dave Moretti and Don Trella, more reasonable, both gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin, as I should have. Dave Moretti has it 78-74, Gennadiy Golovkin, and Don Trella has it 77-75, Gennadiy Golovkin. I have it 80-72, Gennadiy Golovkin. Round 9, clean punches. Again, Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez 27 clean landed punches to 16. Clean punching, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. Canelo Alvarez did some good work in many spots despite him being clearly very tired. He had some forceful combination attempts, but overall Gennadiy Golovkin was pressing him back, making him defend, and sometimes just moving away. While Canelo Alvarez starts fast and tires out by about 140 remaining, Golovkin starts more measured and keeps building and building throughout the round. Effective aggression, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Ring generalship. Surprisingly, Canelo was able to try pushing pace and tone in spots, especially at the beginning of the round, but then he needs to rest and Triple G continues to ramp up the pressure slowly. Ring generalship isn't as much a blowout in this round, but it does edge to Triple G. And it does so 10-9. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done in this round 9 to avoid punches and when they happened. And if we categorize them, I gave high guard to Canelo, ducking 9 points to both fighters, bobbing and weaving Canelo, parrying Canelo, blocking Golovkin, footwork Canelo, and clinching 7 points to both fighters. And if we take the 4 scoring scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.971 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.686 points to Gennadiy Golovkin. Another 10-9 round to Gennadiy Golovkin. And help me out here, guys. Where's the round that Canelo's winning? None of these seem close to me. I don't see where an argument would be. And I now have the fight 90-81, still a shutout for Gennadiy Golovkin. And I feel like Judge Bird may have been demoted by now to judging the T-Ball Junior sectional qualifiers and is just texting in her blind guess of who won the round. Seriously, though, I was wondering if she judged a subjective turn-based sport like diving or dunk contest before this, because it seems like she's just judging whether Canelo did good things in a vacuum, right? And just giving him a 10 if he did, without regard for the fact that he's competing with somebody else at the time and there's an opponent in the ring doing other things. I did use some AI and Google searches and I couldn't find any evidence of her judging these types of sports before, but that just popped into my mind. So Adelaide Bird has the fight 88-83 after giving that round to Canelo, and again, judges Dave Moretti and Don Trella, more reasonable, gave that round to Gennadiy Golovkin. Judge Moretti has it 88-83 Golovkin, and Judge Don Trella has it 87-84 Golovkin. Round 10, clean punching, and this one was huge. Gennadiy Golovkin outlands Canelo Alvarez 38 clean-landed punches to 15. 15 isn't bad, but 38 is otherworldly. I've only ever seen Chris Eubank Jr. cross the 40 barrier in any fight that I've ever looked at before. Clean punching, 10-8 Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression, Canelo forearm to the face, soft warning. Canelo Alvarez was competitive for the first 45 seconds to the point where I wondered if this would be the first round he wins, but then Gennadiy Golovkin hunted him down, outworked him, and severely outlanded him for the remainder of the round to the point where Canelo had to start escaping again. He was aggressive in spots, but not very effective. Effective aggression, Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. Ring generalship, Canelo Alvarez gets credit for initiating during the first 45 seconds, so he gets 9 points in this category instead of 8, but Triple G clearly controlled action and tone with his unrelenting behavior and many landed punches for the rest of the round. Ring generalship, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 8.5. And here are all the defensive moves done to avoid punches in this round and when they happened. If we categorize them, I gave the high guard to Gennadiy Golovkin, ducking Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving Canelo Alvarez, parrying Canelo Alvarez, blocking 8 points to both fighters, footwork Gennadiy Golovkin, and clinching Canelo Alvarez. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 8.450 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.686 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a blowout win in round 10 because of all those landed punches and the relentless pressure for Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9. And I now have the fight 100-90, still a blowout in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. And my eyes are burning. What do I see here? All 3 judges at ringside gave the round to Canelo Alvarez, 10-9. This raises serious questions. What more does a fighter need to do to win a round? If outlanding by more than 20 punches and controlling the action isn't enough, then the standard becomes completely subjective. Remember, we score based on 4 things: clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense. On 3 of those 4, not counting defense, Triple G is the clear winner in round 10. That makes these scorecards very, very hard to justify. Adelaide Bird now has the fight 98-92 in favor of Canelo. Dave Moretti has it 97-93 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin, and Don Trella has it 96-94 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. Let's see what happens in the next round. Round 11, clean punching. This round much closer, but I did see Gennadiy Golovkin land 15 clean punches to Canelo Alvarez's 11. Clean punching, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Effective aggression. At 2:27 on the clock, Canelo complaining about a kidney punch, which clearly happened during one of his spin-outs, so it was unintentional. The classy Triple G, though, extends a glove and apology anyway, and a sulking Canelo finally touches after thinking about it. At 1:49, Canelo with a rabbit punch. I'd give a hard warning for this one because a similar punch was thrown right before it, and the second one was worse. At 34 seconds on the clock, Triple G ends up with a rabbit punch also, because Canelo is split-second turning his head fast. This is unintentional. Triple G was the consistent stalker, pressing the action while Canelo fought in spots and backed away much of the time. He was effective when he fought, though. Effective aggression, Gennadiy Golovkin 10, Canelo Alvarez 9.5. Ring generalship. Triple G turned down the pressure and punch output this round, just enough to let Canelo Alvarez become competitive. Canelo has enough energy to fight at this pace, just not at that other pace. But again, it's Gennadiy Golovkin deciding what pace and tone they will fight in, which is why he outlanded Canelo 6-2 in the final minute when Canelo ran low on energy again. Ring generalship, 10-9, Gennadiy Golovkin. Let's talk defense, and here are all the defensive moves done to avoid punches in this round and when they happen, and if we categorize them, I gave high guard to Gennadiy Golovkin, ducking Canelo Alvarez, bobbing and weaving Canelo, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking 9-7 Gennadiy Golovkin, footwork 10-8 Canelo Alvarez, and clinching 8 points to both fighters. Taking the 4 scoring criteria together, the algorithm gave 9.048 points to Canelo Alvarez and 9.686 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, a 10-9 round in round 11 to Gennadiy Golovkin. Golovkin. And I now have the fight 110-99, Gennadiy Golovkin, a total blowout in his favor. All three judges at ringside gave that round to Canelo Alvarez 10-9. Judge Adelaide Byrd has it 108-101. Judge Dave Moretti has it 106-103 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin. And Judge Don Trella has it 105-104 Golovkin. It really feels like Canelo's getting credit here for doing better than he did in previous rounds. Previous rounds are already scored and have nothing to do with this round. This one has to be judged in a silo on its own, and on those merits, in my opinion, Gennadiy Golovkin won this round. Round 12, the final round. Clean punching. Canelo must have saved all his energy for this round, or at least he knows this is it and there's nothing else to rest for, so he gives it all in this round and outlands Gennadiy Golovkin for the first time, and in a big way, landing 31 clean punches to Gennadiy Golovkin's still amazing 28. Clean punching, 10-9, Canelo Alvarez. Effective aggression. At 36 seconds on the clock, an unintentional rabbit punch by Triple G. Canelo Alvarez dominated effective aggression in the first minute, seeming to give everything in this round, as I said, since there's no more time left to conserve energy. Triple G was more effectively aggressive in the second minute, and then they both fought their hearts out in the third minute, with Canelo doing a bit better job of getting his aggression off while staying away just enough from Gennadiy Golovkin's aggression. Effective aggression, Canelo Alvarez 10, Gennadiy Golovkin 9.5. Ring generalship. Gennadiy Golovkin came on strong in this round, but Canelo Alvarez seemed more determined in this round and was able to outwork him and keep him away in the first minute. Canelo did get a little tired in the second minute, and Gennadiy Golovkin took control of pace and tone. Then I feel like they both went the route of reckless abandon in the last minute. I'm giving both of them 10 points in this category. Let's talk defense. And again, here are all the defensive moves done to avoid punches and when they happen in this final round. Categorizing them together, I gave the high guard to Golovkin, ducking Canelo, bobbing and weaving 10 points to both fighters, parrying 7 points to both fighters, blocking Golovkin, footwork 9 points to both fighters, and clinching 9 points to both fighters. And if we take the four scoring criteria together, the first round in the entire fight that I think is at least somewhat clear for Canelo Alvarez, 9.743 points in the algorithm to 9.309 points to Gennadiy Golovkin, 10-9 in the final round, in my estimation, for Canelo Alvarez. And now the time has come, the time you've all been waiting for, the time that we find out who really won. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennadiy Triple G Golovkin won. And the answer is Gennadiy Golovkin blew him out on my card, 119-109. I don't see how there's any possible debate in this fight at all. However, let's have a look at the individual rounds and what the margin of victory was in all of them to see if any of these rounds could have been a close enough call to go the other way. So I've laid them all out for you here. Now, all the rounds that are in green are blowout rounds one way or the other. In this case, Triple G every time, so we don't need to even look at those. Let's look at the yellow rounds. Round 2 is enough of a discrepancy that I would not overturn that one. Round 5 is more of a discrepancy. Round 6 is more of a discrepancy. Round 8 is also a large discrepancy, as is round 9, round 11, and round 12. I don't have any round here looking close enough to go the other way. The only one I might be willing to discuss is round 11, if you can tell me I was totally off on judging effective aggression and ring generalship, and we give that round to Canelo Alvarez. Now instead of 119-109, the fight ends up 118-110. Ironically, the score that you see Adelaide Byrd ending up in Canelo's favor, 118-110. Dave Moretti had it 115-113 in favor of Gennadiy Golovkin, and Don Trella had the fight a draw, 114-114. All of them gave Canelo Alvarez that final round. And of course, you can't help but stare at this scorecard, and all fingers pointing to Cuckoo Bird. Where in the hell did 118-110 in Canelo Alvarez's favor come from in this fight? It just isn't right. Adelaide Bird's 118-110 card in this fight for Canelo was one of the most controversial scorecards in recent boxing history. Many fans and analysts felt that Bird's score did not reflect what actually happened in the ring. While the other judges had it close, Bird's card stood out as unusually wide and of course sparked outrage across the boxing world, and now that I've watched this fight and scored it in detail, I can see why. It was in fact a fight that in reality should have been scored widely in Triple G's favor, not Canelo's. Wow, what a fight and what a controversy. My scorecard tells one story, but now I want to hear yours. Drop your score in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and help me reach more fans who care about who really won these fights. And don't stop here. Check out the links on screen for my full breakdowns of other fights people still argue about, plus my official scoring rules so you can judge along with me. Trust me, the results using a real algorithm may shock you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown where we find out who really won.